Crafting all night long with Tammy. Spooky projects feel so jammy. Fake Bake Diaries, our delight. Halloween, we own the night.
Hi everyone, and welcome back to the Fake Bake Diaries. Today, I'm going to be showing you a project that I've been working on since last fall. And it's my version of the viral ghost walking dog. When I saw the ghost walking dog, I knew I had to have him. But when I started thinking about it, I thought, well, I think I'd rather have a different type of dog. I think I'd like my dog not attached to the ghost. I want him to move around. So, of course, I decided to make my own. I started this project last fall. I put it away for the winter and brought it out again this year. This is my most ambitious project yet, and I just love how it turned out. So come and join this diary entry as I show you how I made this adorable ghost walking dog. Let's get right to it. We're going to start off with these two absolutely huge cones. These cones I got at Michael's. They are 24 inches in height and 5.5 inches across. I have my hot wire cutter and I'm going to cut it in half. Next, I'm going to take a couple of balls to put in the middle and use my foam fusion glue. Once this glue is cured, I can still cut through with my hot knife. These balls are probably about 5 inches. Okay, and my last one, I'm going to cut it down the middle. I'm going to get out some toothpicks and some skewers to help put everything together. I'm going to cut this piece off just so it's a bit flatter to stick onto here. Doesn't have to be perfect because you'll use the skewers, you'll get the glue in. You just want to be able to glue some of this down. I'm going to take a couple of skewers into here. There's one. There's two. I want to get some glue down right into the hole.
Knock on the door tonight. Masked faces and spooky sights. Got the basket in my hand.
I'm just poking 2 little holes here so I can see my holes. Now with this skewer, I'm actually going to take it all the way from the outside and hook it as far as I can. I just want to make sure that this is standing up.
Decor craft in the bags, oven clay and paper tags. No candy, just glue and paste. Disaster in their haste. Saw the confusion in their eyes. No sugary sweet surprise. Pumpkin faces start to frown. My big mistake in this town.
I'm going to do the same thing to the other side. And just making sure that it can stand up. Next, I want to fill in the space in here. Grab these. These are just from recycling, a lamp or something that we bought.
Candy, just glue and paste. Disaster in their haste.
In a haunted house we gather round, ghostly whisper, spooky sound. Craft room filled with tricks and treats, fake bake sweet, no bitter beats. Crafting in a haunted house, witches laughing, ghouls arouse. Pumpkin pies and ghostly cake, Halloween fun for goodness sake.
Now, as I'm moving up my cone, it's starting to get a bit thinner. So I think the best thing to do to try to put these skewers in is to use this to make my bowl.
Witches laughing, ghouls arouse, pumpkin pies and ghostly cake, Halloween fun for goodness sake. Carpets hang from spooky eve, steal a glance at autumn leaves, hands at work on witch's brew, crafting magic for the crew. Crafting in a haunted house, witches laugh and ghouls arouse, pumpkin pies and ghostly cake, Halloween fun for goodness sake. Crafting in a haunted house, witches laugh and ghouls arouse, pumpkin pies and ghostly cake, Halloween fun for goodness sake.
Here's what we have now. Looks a little bit like R2-D2, but it'll be fine in the end. Don't worry if you have spots that need to be filled. If you take a close look here, I took little bits that I had left over, put some glue on them, and shoved them in if I found that there was bigger spaces. I use my knife a lot to cut. Sometimes it's faster, easier, cleaner, and no fumes. To smooth the glue, I moved over to my spatula that I have that I use only for crafting. This really made a huge difference and cleans up nicely. And so here we are right now. You can see all the bits and pieces. Here's it from the top. They're all just odd pieces that I put in the middle, things that I just had on hand. So don't feel that you need to go out and purchase anything to fill up the middle. This is where his main foot is going to step out. This is the foot going forward. I'm going to place it up against this edge. To cut it, this back one, I'm going to cut here. On top of that, I want one of my half pieces that I cut. I'm going to turn it in just a little bit because I think everything wouldn't be straight up and down.
It's that time of year, cold orange is here, shelf stock full of fright, decor in orange light. Crafters hustle and race, pumpkin spice embrace, witch hats and candy corn, spooky things adorn. Cold orange, let's go, haunted dreams on show, goblins in the aisles.
You can see from the side, this one sticks out a little bit more than this one. So that's what I'm looking for all the way around, is just to give it a little bit more depth.
Halloween decor, Halloween's in sight, craft till morning light. Spiders on the wall, creepy fun for all. Crafters hustle and race, lights and candy corn, spooky things adorn. Coat of worms, let's go, haunted dreams on show. Goblins in the aisles.
I'm going to put a couple of little weights on top and weigh that down. And then I'm going to continue all the way around. I have finished putting on all of the cones. I have those big, big ones that I showed you that I cut in half. Those are on a first layer all the way around. Then I also included these big ones here. They are about 30 centimeters. And you can see I put some arms on him. Here's his other arm. Here's this side. Here's the back of them. You can see I did make them slanted a little bit. That'll make the ghost look like he's flowing. The front, I put an extra larger cone on top to give that illusion that he's walking and has feet. This ball is 40 centimeters in diameter. It's huge. The only place I could find these are on Temu. My next step is to cut it where you see that purple line. I'm going to do exactly the same thing with the dowels that I did with all of the cones. I'm going to stick a couple of dowels up into here and down into here and glue that head on. It's starting to come along. Next, we're going to work on the dog to give you an idea of the different sizes of balls that I'm using. They don't have wrappers on them, so I'm not exactly sure what size they are. I put out the ruler, and these are all the different sizes that I plan to use. First of all, I'm going to take my big ball to keep everything still on the table while I'm figuring everything out. So I've just used painter tape, and it'll keep everything stuck so I can figure it out. This right here is the main body of my poodle. I'm making a ghost bubblegum poodle, and she's going to be super cute. This is the biggest one. This is the one I'm going to start off with. And this is the next size. This is going to be the body. So this is the front with the chest, and this is her back end. I've just taken my marker. I put these together. I'm going all the way around it. This goes here. I've also marked the top of this. And so for her neck, I'm going to use a cone. This one, I would say, is about this size. I took my marker and I marked around here. And then I have two lines. The first line is not the one I want right now. So I'm going to cut it up here and not down here. You'll see why in a little bit. I'm going to take my knife. I'm just going to cut these. Nice and flat. I don't want to cut off a lot. So I want to keep them looking like bubblegum. Yeah. That looks really good. So these two go together. Now I have to turn it to the top. Do the same thing here. I'm just cutting off what I absolutely feel I need to make it flat enough to put the next piece onto it. We're going to take these two and attach them together with our dowels. These are the ones I'm using here. They're from the dollar store. And I'm going to see how deep I want to put these. I want to put it over the halfway mark if I can. Because I want to keep this body together really well, I will put 3 of them.
In the night so dark and deep, where the shadows love to creep, Lilith rises from her sleep. Pink skeleton queen, secrets keep. Golden crown on her head gleams. Crystal ball shows eerie dreams. Walking through the haunted scenes, she gleams where the ghost light streams. Lilith, Lilith, shining bright.
I'm going to take these points and mark where I want these. Okay. To make them go in easier, I'm just going to take this.
Bones that rattle like a tune underneath October moon. Every ghoul will listen soon. Lilith's reign will make them.
Okay, now we find the holes and put it together. There's the body. This is a broken cone that I have, and I thought it'd be perfect to make a cute little head. Like that. I want to make his head, but I want his head to slant up. So this is where this piece comes in, where I'm trying to slant this down. This is where your hot knife would come in handy. because you can maneuver it a bit better on a slant. So I'm going to use this.
Skeleton queen, a chilling sight, dancing in the pale moonlight.
So I was trying to put this here.
Viola's out at nightfall, wings spread wide and tall. She's not scary at all, just likes a spooky ball. Moonlight on her feathers, you'd think she writes love letters, but she's got...
So I don't think you have to cut this into 2 pieces, but I do think that that helped me to figure out exactly where the head goes. So my lowest part, I want it down the middle.
Charm a Halloween kiss, ghostly fun you can't resist. Creeping through the graveyard, though it might seem real hard, she's greeting every card in the spooky dark yard. Pumpkin glow reflects her flight, her tails unfurled by twilight, chilling in the eerie night, yet her laugh is our delight. Cobwebs and shadows swirl around, Viola lives without a sound. In ghostly loop she's fairy bound, enchanting every ghastly ground. Moonlight on her feathers, you'd think she writes love letters, but she's got spooky matters underneath the tatters. Viola's dancing on the mist, waltzing through the autumn twist. Her playful charm a Halloween kiss, ghostly fun you can't resist. Creeping through the graveyard, though it might seem real hard, she's greeting every card in the spooky dark yard. Pumpkin glow reflects her flight, her tails unfurled by twilight, chilling in the eerie night, yet her laugh is our delight. Cobwebs and shadows swirl around, Viola lives without a sound. In ghostly loop she's fairy bound, enchanting every ghastly ground.
I need to make her into a ghost. So I'm going to take a bunch of these cones. We cut them in half. Let's see. Where are we? There you go. I'm going to put all these around the bottom, and then I'm going to take my dowels and glue them in. And I'm going to do all the way around to make that skirting part so that the dog is a ghost. And then I'll be back. So here's the ghost dog so far. These are all half cones. Cut them all down in half. Again, used my dowels. I slanted a couple of them like this, and that's just to show a little bit of wind as the dog is walking. That's the back of the dog. And to let him dry, I just would sit him on the top of these glitter containers because he's hollow underneath. So he's looking super cute so far. I'll let it dry overnight and we'll go back to it tomorrow. His head is on. I just wanted to show you how tall he actually is. Look at this. If you haven't used it before, it is incredibly sticky. You don't want to get this on your hands or even on your clothes. And then we shake it for 30 seconds. Next, just take the lid off of this one and then take this nozzle and click it in. To be able to push down the nozzle, there's a little safety piece in there. You just have to pull that out. And when you spray upside down. All right. So I'm going to get in here the best I can.
Snake in the apple, coiled so tight, hiding in shadows, lurking in the night. Laughter fills the air.
I can still get foam in from the other side on this. I'll have to run it and get some more to finish that. So I'm going to put a first layer on here because sometimes it just dries a lot easier and faster if you do it that way, layer by layer. I wouldn't pile it all up. I'm doing a little bit here, a little bit there. And so this will be perfect. So I'm just trying to. So I'm just going to do my first layer. And that should be the end of this can.
Giving us a fright.
That's it for these cans. I'm going to run out and grab from the store. It's about an hour later, and this is looking really good. I'm going to turn it around. And I'm just looking at any hollow spot.
In a small town down the highway where the fields are all aglow, folks gather around for fun times, watching autumn leaves blow. October brings the challenge where neighbors go all out to show off creepy decor and fill the town with shouts. The Smiths hung rubber cobwebs, they got ghosts upon their trees. The Johnsons carved out pumpkins with scary vampire teeth. The Millers built a graveyard with zombies rising high, while Mrs. Lee's old scarecrow winks with a glowing eye. It's the Haunted Yard Showdown every October night, with witches and with goblins giving us a fright. Skeletons and monsters lurking in the dark. It's the Haunted Yard Showdown. Who's got the spookiest spark?
So the kind that I was using before, they only had 2 left at the store. So I got these ones here. And it's a little bit different. You shake it again, 30 seconds. Screw on the top. Has to be upside down. And then we dispense. So this one's a bit different color. It's not as white. This is more of a cream, but it's not going to matter in the end.
That's on all the doors. Kids walk with wide-eyed wonder as they trick or treat tonight, with candy bags and shivers in the cold October light. It's the Haunted Yard Showdown every October night, with witches and with goblins giving us a fright. Skeletons and monsters lurking in the dark. It's the...
And for the dog, I'm just trying to get in between these spaces now. So I'm going to put a little bit more here first.
It's the Haunted Yard Showdown every October night, with witches and with goblins giving us a fright. Skeletons and monsters lurking in the dark. It's the Haunted Yard Showdown. Who's got the spookiest spark? Spookiest spark. Who's got the spookiest spark?
I'm going to cut the top of the head a little bit flatter. And instead of having such a round ball, I want to make him a little bit flatter and come flatter down the sides of the head so it just doesn't look like a big round ball. After that, I'm going to take my X-Acto knife. This is a good heavy-duty X-Acto knife. And this blade I can use to cut anything that I don't want. While I'm doing my shaping, I want to consider the shape of him, a general shape of a ghost.
Under Paris moonlight, she walks with a dog. Ghostly Emma so bright, through fog and the smoke. Every night without fail, through cobbled streets, whispers tell her tale of footsteps and feet. She's a ghost with a smile, walks her dog every mile. In the dark of the night, a sight so bizarre yet right. After strolls through the park, up the timeless stair, dog and ghost leave a mark in the cool autumn air. At home on a screen bright, Tammy shines on the stage. Fake Bake Diaries light, Emma's nightly wage. She's a ghost with a grin, walking streets with her kin. Dog desire each night, in shadows that feel so right. In a haunted house we gather round, ghostly whisper, spooky sound. Craft room filled with tricks and treats, fake bake sweet, no bitter beats. Crafting in a haunted house, witches laughing, ghouls arouse. Pumpkin pies and ghostly cake, Halloween fun for goodness sake. Cobwebs hang from spooky eaves, steal a glance at autumn leaves. Hands at work on witch's brew, craft and magic for the crew. Crafting in a haunted house, witches laughing, ghouls arouse. Pumpkin pies and ghostly cake, Halloween fun for goodness sake. From spooky eaves, steal a glance at autumn leaves. Hands at work on witch's brew, craft and magic for the crew. Crafting in a haunted house, witches laugh and ghouls arouse. Pumpkin pies and ghostly cake, Halloween fun for goodness sake. Crafting in...
See, I've carved her head right down. The face is actually gone now. It was too round to begin with. It looked very pumpkin-like. We don't want a pumpkin-like head. So I've shaved it right down, and I've done that taking my X-Acto knife. And now at the beginning, I had that big knife out, which was this one here. I don't recommend this one because it can slip easily and you can cut yourself. As long as you have a good, solid X-Acto knife, you'll be just fine. And always keep extra blades just in case. I'm trying to make her slimmer all the way down. As I'm carving out, I made a bit of a flat top, and I just keep carving down. As you can see, I keep my blade like this, And I'm picturing it like it's a flowing sheet. So it comes straight down and it'll come over like so. So that's how I'm trying to cut everything down right now. So it's going to come down and out, down and out. I'm also taking out any parts in here that I think I need to cut out because I might want to have a little bit more texture in there. Anytime I'm cutting close to any edges, I cut them at a bit of an angle towards the edge. The mixture that I'm putting on top of this, I have that in my mind on how I think it'll work, and I don't want the edges popping up. So we cut them down at an angle because it's easier to fill in little bits. But if you have pieces sticking out all over, that doesn't work all that well. That's what I'm currently doing right now. The other piece I've started on is the lower part of what I call the sheet. That's a bit wavy going underneath. This one goes in slightly and out. This one, I've cut a bunch more in. I really dug in on this one. So this one is going to go in and then down. This one, I think I'm just cutting the edge a little bit off there. That's going to basically stay the same, I think, at this point. Again, this one I've cut into it. I'm starting to work my way around. I'm going to take this next one and carve it up the side if I want. Any way that I think that this is going to look wavy. The good thing about the sheet, I don't really think that you can go wrong with that. If you run into one of your dowels, cut it off. I took my scissors, broke it off. You don't want them sticking out. You always want an indent. They're really easy to snip off the ends of those. And that's about it. I'm going to continue going around and finish carving it. I'm almost finished it, but after I finish carving it, I have a 100 grit sanding sponge. And I also have a 60 grit. I'm going to start sanding it very lightly. I'm going to start with my 100. And if I need one just a little bit more coarse, I'll go down to my 60. And I'm going to lightly sand. Like so. And I'm very lightly sanding. This is not a heavy sand. If your styrofoam kind of gets a little messy like that, leave it, because the mixture that you're going to put on top is going to fill all of that in. All you're going to do is very slightly round off all of your pieces. I do recommend while you're sanding that you put your mask on, or you go outside and sand her outside. And if you see, that's very quick. I'm going to do that all the way around. I'm also going to do it all on here. That one I have to clip out. And any tight little edges where I've cut, you know, it's a little bit edgy. I'm just going to take my sandpaper and do along the edges. I'm not worrying about right inside of here. You know, I'll dig out what I can, but in the end, I know it's going to be filled with my mixture, so I'm not worried about it. My goal right now is to get everything nice connected and flowing. So I will come back when I have finished carving this and when I finish sanding it, and we'll see what it looks like. Now this project is a big one, and there was no way I could fit this all into one video. So stay tuned because part 2 will be out in a flash. See you soon.